Good morning, everyone, or good day. Welcome to a new update of the crypto markets with me, Crypto Michael, or my real name, Michael. Um, we're going to publish some cool content in the coming weeks. I'm going to describe which altcoins I'm interested in for 2021. Tomorrow, I'm going to explain why I've increased my altcoin exposure. Um, and we're building up towards 2021, in which we're going to have a really good year with quality content, upgrades of every platform. Um, One of the upgrades is that I've included more explanations to the charts, and what I experience is that people are really enjoying that, enjoying more of my thoughts about the markets in general. So if you like it or if you don't, please reply beneath this YouTube video with your comments regarding the content and what we have implemented. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. I'm going live there next week, or maybe even this week if I've got some spare time left, where I'm going to answer all the questions that you have. Today we're going to discuss Bitcoin, and we're going to discuss a slight portion of XRP. There's not too much happening on the markets right now. I think the majority of the markets and the altcoins are focused surrounding by eGold, which is doing relatively well, and some slighter altcoins as well. Zilliqa is actually waking up. I'll be posting a chart on Zilliqa later today on Twitter. But eGold is absolutely ridiculous with its movements as it's getting towards an all-time high, which is amazing. Now, we're getting towards the Bitcoin part, in which we have been discussing this in the slide update yesterday as well. What do we see? We do see that Bitcoin is fighting its resistance again. And it's fighting the resistance for the fourth time already, as it has been testing this zone a significant amount of time. We can see that the first test occurred in this has to move out there in at the end of November. We've seen that we've had a test at the beginning of December, and we had some more, after which we got a renewed test currently, as we made this bottom in construction at 17.6 with the bullish diff. Price could not fall through which we are accelerated with the price towards the resistance area that we have right now, through which we can define two crucial levels that we have to break through, or that we have to sustain in order to have this bullish momentum continued. First one is that we have to sustain support, which means if price is going to reverse or going to fall over in the coming hours or days, we want to see that this block here around 18.5 is going to provide support. Why is that significant? It's significant given the fact that 18.5 has been acting as support previously. So that's why you can get that range construction that we have been discussing. 18.5 should be flipping for support again in order to have any further tests being likely for the markets. So if 18.5 is not going to provide any support, it's very likely that we're going to close those CME gaps, as those CME gaps are still on the charts. However, CME gaps most of the times get a close. 95% of the times they are getting that close. So it's still on the tables that we get a corrective move, that we get more sideways action. And you know that I've got the overall view of the markets in which we just have witnessed such a impulsive wave, in which it's coming quite more clear that we're getting towards a top construction here of Bitcoin, as we are chopping around relatively a significant period of time, which means that there's a potential distribution going on right here, and that distribution can be signaled by a fake out, which we're going to discuss in a little bit. But we have had a massive impulse wave for the markets, which frequently ends up with a substantial period of time going sideways, which we have seen around the halving, which we have seen in August, which frequently we see, in which we can reset the indicators, compress the price, accumulate, and get strength for the next impulse wave. Nothing goes up in a vertical line, nothing continues to go up in a vertical line. Then about Bitcoin itself, we do see that the 18.5 area is the critical area to hold, and we're fighting to break above the recent resistance through which we can make a new all-time high. And that all-time high is going to trigger FOMO. And I know people will be eager to jump into the markets given that news outlets are going to shout that that the price has made a new all-time high. However, what you clearly want to see in this case is not that we reach the all-time high, because that's just less significant. It's very significant for any investor in the market in general, of course. But the critical part is that we do not chop around here and fall back into the range, and then we are in the topping structure. So what I just said about distribution and a topping structure, those fake outs we have seen frequently, right? And those fake outs often lead to a significant drop down back in range. So if we get a similar construction in which we rally towards 20k, maybe even 20.2, we might be getting a heavy fall down back into the range in which we drop towards 19k in one go, then reject 19.5, and then we start to fall over at that point. And then we know that the top is in. So what is critical and what's crucial to hold in general is that we do sustain support on this red level. If that red area is not going to provide support, the old breakout is just nonsense, and it's just a tap into liquidity to trap you into long positions and into FOMO. This range in general is just not an entry point for Bitcoin investors or traders at all, unless you are day trading and scalp trading like you can see on those ranges, or unless you are DCAing a certified or just a certain portion of your monthly income towards Bitcoin, as then you're not watching the price at all, as your investment horizon is multiple years. Those are the two reasons why you should not be interested, or why you should be interested in Bitcoin at these prices, and why you should not be interested in just going for a swing trade long at this position as we just went vertical. Are we in a range to short Bitcoin? I'm not in favor of shorting bull markets unless I have clear confirmation that the price is going to reverse in the short term, which means that I'm not frequently interested at all until we get such a bearish flip of 19.5. If I'm going to miss the short, I don't really care. I'm going to use the liquidity to buy the dips. But the example that I have here is the similar example that we have witnessed previously. So what we see is that we did get this breaker, we did get the flip, so we get a move towards 22, we flip, we reject at 22 again, come back down to the price of 19.5 again, which signals weakness. What you want to see is when it flips for support, is that test, and we start to make a new impulse wave afterwards. So this rejection here is a critical point that you should be out of your position, or while we get back into support, it's going to be a very ugly behavior. So getting such an impulse wave downwards is most likely what happens. So in the case that we get a breaker and we fall through 19.5, I would definitely not be surprised if we're going towards 18k in one go. Enough about Bitcoin. Let's discuss XRP, as XRP hit the range that I found interesting in general, which is the 45 cents block here. But it's not showing the strength that I want to have. It is an entry zone, and I've marked it as an entry zone. The next entry zone is around 30 cents. But what we can see on the lower time frames is still that we are witnessing weakness, right? Actually, we should make the block like this. What we witness here is weakness. So what we see is that previous resistance or previous support becomes resistance another time, and what we can see here is just continuation of those bearish support resistance flips, making it a negative parabolic, also with lower highs, lower lows. And you want to see another bearish support resistance flip here. What you want to see is this. So you're looking for an entry trigger through a bullish divergence to be made here, after which this support, or in this case this support, previous support becomes support again. That's your entry trigger. And when that's your entry trigger, so for instance this is going to be the low, Your target points are defined through Fibonacci, which is confluence with the significant support resistance levels, which are these two. So you're looking at TP around 56 cents. If that breaks, or when we get a flip of 50 cents afterwards, you're going to look at 65 next. Is XRP in an entry zone right now on the USDT chart? It is. Slowly it is, but still a tricky point, to be honest, as it's still trending downwards on the lower time frames. But the crucial point here is that during this upwards run, I've seen people shouting that you should be buying XRP even if at 70 cents, in which they have been stating that Ripple would have been going up even more from there. But the crucial point is that you should not be anticipating on those shouts from people that are just speculating on a price increase. You should be waiting for those lower levels to be hit, in which case 45 cents is the first crucial one. That is a potential entry trigger. Can the price fall down towards 30-35 cents? Of course it can. But if you're looking for a swing trade or an investment horizon and you take the entry at 45 cents with a plan, you're buying in way lower than where you were led to through emotions, and you would have bought in at 70-75 cents. That is the trigger you should be watching, or that's just something that you should be learning from here. So that's also the update for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tomorrow we're going to discuss why I'm allocating more money towards altcoins. Subscribe beneath here, like, let me know what you think of the new layout of the charts with the explanations, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll be back tomorrow.